Hi there, Kelly Belly, and happy birthday, happy big 50. My God, 50, who'd have believed it? This is such a special birthday for you. We wanted to do a special type of greeting.
So we put together some photos from our time together and our memories of you, and we'd like to show them if we can right now.
So this is going to be a bit of a trip down memory lane, which I hope you'll enjoy.
All right, so off you go.
So where do we start? Well, we probably should start right at the beginning when you were born. As you might know, I wasn't around in Sydney when you were born, but I was having a great time in Europe. In fact, it was Switzerland when I first learned that you had arrived safely, and your mother sent me a wonderful letter telling me all about it, and she was just so over the moon and joyful. I wish I still had that letter to share with you. I wish I had other things too, like the photos that were taken when I got back to Sydney a few months later and started to spend time with you. But for some reason, I don't seem to be able to put my hands on many photos. In fact, there's only about one that I can find. But I think partly that was due to the fact that at that stage I was heavily into doing movies. And I do remember taking a bunch of movies with you. On days, for example, when I took you into the zoo, and I still remember you pushing a little pram around everywhere. I think you had more fun doing that than seeing the giraffe and the elephants and all those sorts of things. And also a day when we went into the art gallery together. And I still remember your shock and horror when you came home and you went up to Nana and whispered in her ear that I had shown you a naked lady, which of course was a sculpture. So one of these days I'll find those movies too and get them to you. It was a short time, only a very short time, before I went out of your life for a number of years. And that was, I think you were about 7 years old when Doug and I got married and went to live in Canada. So we missed out on a big chunk of being with you as you grew up. Fortunately, your mother very kindly kept sending us photos. And there are some wonderful ones of you going to school and being with David, being on some sort of a ride, learning on your motorbike. And it's great looking back now to see how you grew up through those years. We missed out on a lot of things. We missed out on birthdays, on family Christmases, but it was wonderful on those times that I was able to come back and share some of those things with you. One photo I do have that I particularly cherish is one of you showing me a very secret special spot on your body. And it's one thing that we do have in common, which are freckles. And there's a special freckle that you have that you occasionally would share with me. So I still have that photo. But you know, it was amazing. The years went by very quickly. And before we knew it, here you were growing up into a beautiful young lady before our very eyes.
I had been back and forth to Australia for a few holiday trips, and I got to meet Kelly then, but I didn't really get to know you properly until you stayed with us in Toronto. And I well remember you arriving with Gary at the Union Station in Toronto, and Gary is loaded down with bags and suitcases and backpacks and all of your worldly goods, and you came charging out, big smile, carrying, as I remember, not a thing. No.
Right.
So,
yes, it's an image to remember. Yeah, but you settled in, both of you settled into our house beautifully and were wonderful guests for I think about 6 weeks or so that you stayed with us before you went away. You made yourself at home, and you and I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. And in fact, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I was the one who taught you how to poach an egg or two. And I remember you serving it to Gary and just how impressed he was with that.
when you stayed with us, we had a lot of fun times together, and some of them in the backyard. And we also discovered the local attractions. I think you introduced us to the local pool hall, which was something we hadn't even known was there. So that was exciting. And we tried to take you around to some of the attractions around Toronto, like in Niagara Falls. We had a lovely day in wintertime in Niagara Falls. And we also took you up to the Elliott family cottage on the lake. That was in the summertime, fortunately. And you got to meet a lot of my family. up at the cottage and other places.
Yeah. You were really lucky because the period you were in Ontario with us, even though winter was pretty brutal, I still remember Gary with his frozen eyelashes up on a roof,
Yeah.
but for other times, the fall is a terrific time, and you really got into that in a big way. I think you understood how wonderful Thanksgiving is. You got into the pumpkins without any trouble at all, the different places we took you to. And then, of course, shortly after Thanksgiving, Halloween comes. And the two of you definitely got into that. I remember, Kelly, you carving the pumpkin in our kitchen and being very proud of it and putting it in our window. But I think you probably had the most fun by getting dressed up and going to Halloween parties. So you definitely got into the spirit of that. And then, of course, there was Christmas. You had two Christmases, really. You had the Christmas with us at our place, oh, three probably, because you were in your own place by then.
Mm-hmm.
But you had one with us in our house, and then the Elliott family very kindly invited you up to spend Christmas with them. So we were able to give you a good dose of Christmas that year.
So then we move on to the next phase, which is you left us in Toronto and went to Ireland. And we were really lucky that we were able to come visit you in Belfast. I remember the day we arrived, we got a wonderful warm welcome from you both. And I got a wonderful warm welcome from the airline when they lost my luggage. But that was a temporary setback, and the rest of the trip was wonderful.
It was. It was terrific that you returned the hospitality in spades for us. It was great to spend time with you in your house, but also you were fabulous hosts, taking us around the Belfast, all areas of Belfast and outside. The countryside was beautiful. Devil's Causeway that we went to.
Giant's Causeway.
Giant's Causeway, sorry, not Devil's Causeway, Giant's Causeway. And even met Gary's family. So it was a wonderful chapter when we stayed with you in Belfast.
Yes, and it was a special occasion for me because Kelly had arranged for a visit for me, especially to Harland and Wolff shipyards where they built Titanic. And I'm a Titanic fan, as you might well know. So I got kind of an inside tour of Harland and Wolff, which was really something that I'll remember for a long time. We also went to the Titanic Museum in Belfast, which is another great experience for me and something that I'm not likely to get back to for a long time.
So you certainly got your fill of Titanic.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks to Cole.
Yeah.
One of the other really nice parts of Ireland was when we got together with you at Mullaghmore. We had gone down south touring and playing tourist, and then met up with you, if you might remember, at Mullaghmore, where you'd had this lovely caravan for us to spend some time with. I think it was an extended weekend. It was a beautifully comfortable place, and we had a great time there. And I'm sure, Kelly, the one thing you remember most of all about that, though, is when I attempted to open the box of cereal and it went everywhere. I suspect that's the one thing you'll remember most of all about that. For me, again, it was my greatest memory is that we were able to spend such wonderful time with you in Gary's own place, his own backyard.
Yep.
So one of the most special visits that we had, I mean, I had a lot of trips back to Sydney for different family occasions, but by far one of the most special was coming back for your wedding. We were so thrilled that we were able to be part of it. You were a gorgeous bride, as expected. The service was lovely, and you were both beaming and happy. Everybody, it was such a happy, happy day. The reception on the boat was fabulous. You couldn't beat the setting, of course, with the opera house in the background, and we were just thrilled to be a part of it.
Yes, and I was particularly pleased and honored to be part of the reception, to be able to take a small part in giving a little speech for that.
So since we returned to Australia 16 years ago now, which is staggering to us, it's been wonderful to be able to spend more time with you on a semi-regular basis anyway. Everybody leads busy lives, so we really appreciate it when we are able to get together with you. But it's been fabulous to see you establish your own family, Kel, bring Luke and Georgie into the world. They're great kids. You've got a really happy marriage. It's been terrific to see all that happen before our very eyes.
Yeah, and it's been great that we've been able to get together with you for a lot of occasions, and particularly we appreciate being invited for Christmases and to be able to spend the Christmas days with you and your family in your 2 houses now. And we hope that we'll be able to do more get-togethers at Christmas in the times that follow.
Because it's always fun. You always come up with something creative for us to do. So it's great to get together with them.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So Kel, it's been a real fun ride with you so far. There are so many happy memories we have. I hope we've touched upon some of them here. But the bottom line, I think, is that you are a very special part of our lives. We're not only proud of you, very proud of you, but we love you very much.
We do. So, Kel, we hope that this little tour brought back some happy memories for you. It certainly did for us, and we look forward to getting together and creating some new memories in the future.
So all that's left to say really is
Happy birthday!
Bye.
Have a good one.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelly. Happy birthday to you and many more.